In our last lecture, we explored the fundamental concept of messaging and why it's so crucial for building modern, flexible software systems. We learned about decoupling applications and enabling them to communicate asynchronously. Now we are going to take that concept a big step further and dive into something called event-driven architecture, often simply referred to as EDA. This is a powerful and increasingly popular way of designing software, and it's where Apache Kafka truly shines. Don't worry if this term sounds complex. We will break it down piece by piece, making it crystal clear, even if you are completely new to this idea. Before we jump into EDA, let's quickly recall our previous discussion. We saw how applications traditionally communicate with direct, synchronous calls, like one person directly asking another for something and waiting for an immediate answer. This leads to tight coupling and scalability issues. Then we introduced messaging, where an intermediary, a message broker, allows applications to send messages asynchronously. The sender doesn't wait for the receiver, leading to better decoupling and resilience. This was a significant improvement, and it's a foundational step towards understanding EDA. Now let's evolve this idea even further. The term event-driven architecture has event in its name. So what exactly is an event in this context? In software, an event is simply a record of something that has happened. It's a fact, it's immutable, meaning once it's happened, it cannot be changed. Think of it like a newspaper headline or a diary entry. It records a specific occurrence at a specific point in time. Examples of events are like user sign up. A user signed up and this cannot be changed. This is immutable. Or maybe add to cart. So a product was added to cart and it needs to be an immutable event. Order placed. Again, an order was placed. So this needs to be an immutable event. It should not be changed in the future if it has already happened. Similarly, a temperature sensor reading. If this has happened, then this should not be modified. It should be immutable. So whenever I said user signed up, product added to cart, order placed, or temperature sensor read, then these are all past tense, factual statements. They don't tell anyone to do anything directly. They just announce that something did happen. Order was placed. User signed up. So that's an announcement. That is a fact that something happened. Now let's compare two ways of thinking about how systems interact. The traditional approach is right in front of us, the request-response cycle, the request-response system, or a command-driven system. In this model, one application sends a command or makes a request to another application, specifically telling what to do. For example, when a user clicks buy now, the e-commerce website might directly send a process payment command to the payment service. The payment service then sends back a payment processed response. This is still a form of direct communication, even if it goes through a simple message queue. The caller is making an explicit request and often waiting for an explicit response. Now, instead of telling other applications what to do, an application simply announces that something significant has happened by emitting an event. It doesn't care who listens or what they do with that information. It just says, hey, this happened. When a user clicks buy now, the e-commerce website doesn't tell the payment service to process payment. Instead, it simply publishes an event, which is order placed. Now, any other service that is interested in order placed events can listen for them and react accordingly. The payment service might listen and initiate payment, or the inventory service might listen and update stock. and the email service might also listen and send a confirmation email. The key shift is from telling to announcing, and from requesting to reacting. So, putting it all together, event-driven architecture is an architectural pattern where the communication between different parts of a software system is based on the production, detection, consumption, and reaction to events. It's fundamentally built around these concepts. The first is events, the immutable facts of what happened. Next, event producers or publishers, applications that detect an event and publish it to an event channel. They don't know who will consume it. Next, we have event consumers or subscribers, applications that are interested in certain types of events, listen to the event channel and react when those events occur. They don't know who produced the event. Next, we have event channel or event bus or the event stream platform. This is the central nervous system of an EDA. It's the mechanism that transports events from producers to consumers. This is where Apache Kafka fits in. Notice how the producers and consumers are completely independent. They are decoupled in time and space. Now, why would we want to design our systems this way? EDA offers significant advantages, building upon the benefits of basic messaging. Producers and consumers have no direct knowledge of each other. They only know about the event channel. This allows teams to develop and deploy services independently, speeding up development and reducing integration complexities. You can add new consumers or change existing ones without impacting producers. The event channel acts as a buffer, absorbing bursts of events. You can scale producers and consumers independently based on their individual load. If one service becomes slow, it won't necessarily bring down the entire system. In case of event-driven architecture, systems can react to changes instantly as events occur, enabling real-time analytics, personalization, and immediate feedback to users. It allows for reactive behavior where components respond dynamically to system-wide changes. In EDA, events are typically persisted in the event channel. If a consumer fails, it can restart and process events from where it left off, ensuring no data loss. The system becomes more robust because failures in one component don't cascade and bring down the entire system. Because events are often stored durably and immutably, like in Kafka, you have a historical log of everything that happened. This is invaluable for auditing, debugging, data analysis, and even for building new services that need to catch up on past events. And finally, it's much easier to add new features or introduce new services by simply having them listen to existing events without modifying the existing producers. This supports an agile and evolving business. Event-driven architectures are found everywhere in modern software. The go-to pattern for independent microservices to communicate without direct dependencies is EDA. EDA is also used in real-time data pipelines, collecting, transforming, and moving data streams from various sources to analytical dashboards, data warehouses, or even other applications in real time. EDA has extensive usage in user behavior tracking, capturing every user action on a website or mobile app, clicks, views, purchases as events for analytics, recommendations, and personalization. Next, we have IoT, Internet of Things, where EDA is used to handle massive streams of data from sensors, smart devices, and industrial machinery. Analyzing transaction events in real time to identify suspicious patterns is being done at massive level using event-driven architecture. And finally, a very common case is financial trading systems. We are processing market data events and trade executions with low latency. You might have noticed how perfectly the concept of an event stream platform fits into the heart of an event-driven architecture. This is precisely where Apache Kafka comes in. Kafka is designed from the ground up to be highly scalable, fault-tolerant, and high-throughput platform for building event-driven architectures. It provides the durable, ordered, and replayable event channel that connects all your producers and consumers. With Kafka 4.0, which we will be focusing on, its capabilities as the central nervous system for your events are even more robust and easier to manage than ever before. Throughout this course, you will not only understand the theory of EDA, but also gain the practical skills to implement it using Kafka, empowering you to build truly reactive, scalable, and resilient systems. You now have a solid understanding of messaging and the powerful paradigm of event-driven architecture. In our coming lecture, we are going to dive into the fundamental building blocks of Apache Kafka itself. We will explore some of its most crucial concepts like topics and partitions. These are key to understanding how Kafka organizes and distributes your events. Get ready for more hands-on learning. I'll see you in the next lesson.